Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
By the way, before we do what's supposed to happen here, thank you for pushing the button.
This is the Founders Federal High School Football Scoreboard on the Sports Talk Media Network. Coming up, scores and reports from across the state and analysis from David Shelton. The Scoreboard is brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. Relax, you're with Founders. Now your host for the High School Scoreboard, Phil Kornblut.
All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome into the High School Football Scoreboard across the state, brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union on a lovely, lovely Friday night. Maybe a little bit warmer than we want for October 1st, but still not that bad. No rain and things like that. We've got great football going on all across the state of South Carolina. Phil Kornblut here at our studios in downtown Columbia. Pat Daniel is here. Matt Smith has come rolling in as well. Smitty to cover the Gamecocks tomorrow night. He couldn't wait to get here to cover the Gamecocks, so he came on in tonight to be a part of the show in one way or another. We'll hear from reporters around the state tonight as they join us to give us details on their games. We'll have scores from across the state for you as well. And we always invite you to give us a call. If you've been to a ball game, want to talk about what you saw, want to talk about an individual who stood out in your mind, love to hear from you. South Carolina Education Lottery lucky number for the Scoreboard, 888-898-2525. That's how you can reach us. So let's go ahead and get you up to date on some of the scores that have come in. They're starting to trickle in here at the 10:05 mark of the evening. Couple of scores in from the upstate. And Dorman, Riverside. You know, Riverside, talking about Riverside tonight, the Warriors with David Shelton. He was a little suspect of that undefeated record for them because of the strength of schedule. He thought Dorman would handle, and the Cavaliers did. 47-14, that final score. So Dorman flexing its muscles tonight over Riverside. Also, Daniel with a 35-14 win over Seneca. We move to the Midlands. These are final scores. It's Newberry over Columbia High, 34-0. That game was actually played last night. Great Falls beat Louisville, 18-7. Bamberg Earhart with a 24-7 win over Lucy Beckham of Georgia. In a good one in Columbia, Lexington edged River Bluff, 21-20. I'm sure we'll get a report on that ball game later. And Saluda had no trouble with Eau Claire, final score of 43-0. Couple of finals in Grand Strand PD area. How about this? This hasn't happened much over the years in the young history of St. James High School, but the Sharks took a bite out of the Tigers of Conway tonight, 15-13. St. James over Conway. And Myrtle Beach, a good one in Florence. Myrtle Beach, West Florence, the Seahawks get the win, 14-7. To the Low Country, couple of finals. Battery Creek over Academic Magnet, 30-20, and Hanahan, no trouble with North Charleston, 63-0. Skeeza, Orangeburg Prep, 28, Greenwood Christian, 0. And Hammond, Trinity Collegiate, locked up in a defensive struggle, but Hammond with a couple of touchdowns. Skyhawks win it on the road tonight, final score of 14-0. Those are the final scores we have into the moment that we have plotted by sections of the state. Now we'll jump around the state and give you some more finals or in-progress scores as we see them on the various score feeds that we have. Dorchester Academy leading Calhoun Academy 23-7. It's in the second half. And in the fourth quarter, Dutch Fork over White Knoll 60-0. It's in the fourth quarter, 96 leading Heathwood Hall 26-14. Also in the fourth quarter, Barnwell with a 39-27 lead on Edisto. They are third quarter, maybe fourth, and Sumter and Socastee locked up in a tight one. It's the Gamecocks of Sumter over the Braves of Socastee, 14-8. Florence Christian, third quarter, all over Pelion, 30-7 is that score. In the fourth quarter, Irmo, big over Richland Northeast, 44-2. 44-2. Irmo on top of R&E. In third quarter action, maybe in the fourth by now, Northwestern blowing out Ridgeview 52-13. Airport 21, make that Airport 27. Midland Valley 21. That's the third quarter score. And Ben Lippen was leading Cardinal Newman 12-6. Second quarter of that ball game. In the fourth quarter, Dreer leading Lugoff Elgin 21-20. Third quarter, North Central over Chesterfield 28-14. In the third, Keenan 35, Mid Carolina 7. In the fourth, Camden on top of Crestwood 35-26. Final, Gilbert shuts out Orangeburg Wilkinson tonight 41-0. Another final, Spring Valley shuts out Rock Hill, same score, 41-0. Final, Gray Collegiate 42, Batesburg Leesville, nothing. Final, AC Flora 34, Westwood 14. It's a final, Brooklyn Casey 28, Fox Creek nothing. A final, Dreer over Lugoff Elgin 28-20. And Camden has defeated Crestwood now 35-26. Shout out to Reggie Anderson from News 19 in Columbia for those scores. And we've got Robert E. Lee over Dillon Christian. That's a final, 26-0. That is what we have in for you thus far on the scoreboard. We're off and running here on this Friday edition of the High School Football Scoreboard, brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. We want to get to some reporters out in the field as well. So, Pat, I think we got somebody standing by. If you want to fill me in on who that is, we'll go to him because I'm out of scores.
That's right, Corn. We have Kevin Philman, who was up at the T.L. Hanna versus Woodmont game. Can't wait to hear about that.
Kevin Selman. Yes.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I thought you said Philman.
No, that's okay. That's all right. He's a Red Sox fan, so we won't hold that against him. Big guy, how are you?
I'm doing well, Phil. How you doing? Good to see you earlier today as well.
Yes, and thank you for calling in. How'd your game go?
The Yellow Jackets defeated the Woodmont Wildcats 37-14 tonight in kind of a sloppy game. T.L. Hanna was really never in doubt. We were up 30-0, and Woodmont scored a touchdown on the last play of the first half to bring it to 30-7. Played a lot of reserves in the second half, scored a touchdown, made it 37-7, and Woodmont scored the last touchdown with just a few seconds left in the game. So kind of a boring second half, but a big convincing win for the Yellow Jackets tonight.
Well, it sounds like it. Tell us what the Yellow Jackets did on offense. Who stood out for them? I imagine they just ran the football like they normally do.
A lot of running, but the last few weeks the Yellow Jackets started to mix up some more, some more passing. They rotate quarterbacks now. Got a couple of quarterbacks. Jay Dillard, who's a starting quarterback for the Yellow Jackets. He's a senior, and you also might recognize that name. He is a Clemson baseball commit. He's the starting quarterback for the Yellow Jackets. Now I think he was tonight 2 of 3 for about 70 yards and a touchdown. And the backup quarterback is Kenny Fretwell. He comes in. He's a junior, so he'll be taking over the reins next year. They played a lot of guys tonight, not really superstars, big numbers, just a lot of a balanced effort for the Yellow Jackets across the board. Defensively played well tonight. It was just one of those games like I'm already at home, and I flipped on another game as I was coming down the road, and there's still 11 minutes to play. Hanna and Woodmont both run what we call the phone booth football, where they're just jamming in there and misdirection on a lot of plays. Every now and then they mix in a pass, but the clock ran a lot tonight, and I said it was a quick game.
Oh, it sounds like it, the kind that you like. So, I mean, this Hanna program has really been playing at a high level the last few years, appearances in the state championship game, and looks like they could be headed back this year. They're that good?
Well, yeah, they're that good. This is really thought to be the year for the Yellow Jackets anyway. Last year they finished undefeated and lost in the state championship game to Dutch Fork, obviously. But along the way, in the playoffs, they defeated Ridgeview. And the first game was at home. They defeated Ridgeview at home. Then they went on the road to Gaffney and won at the reservation. And then we went to Northwestern and won at Northwestern. And so the Yellow Jackets are tested over the years. And like I said, played for the state championship 2 of the last 3 years. Both seasons were undefeated, only to come up short against Dutch Fork.
You know, we just made you a star across the state of South Carolina.
Uh-oh. I don't know if that's good or bad.
You won't be able to go anywhere, and you'll never have to pay for another meal.
Oh, there you go. Okay, that's a good thing. But I got one more. I was broadcasting the Hannah game tonight, but we keep in touch with our good friends across town, the West Side Rams. Now I can't tell you much about the game, but I can tell you they did defeat easily, 58-20. That was a final score.
Okay.
So 58-20. West Side beat easily. So there's your one more score.
Well, thank you for that. Scott Early will be happy.
He will be happy, and we'll be happy for Scott. We'll get to see some players from Hannah and West Side at the Anderson Area Touchdown Club next week. And listen, I'm going to give you a shameless plug while I'm on the air. But
go ahead.
Next week we have Chan Gailey, former head coach of the Dallas Cowboys and former Georgia Tech head football coach, will be our speaker next week. So anybody in the upstate listening next Friday at the Anderson Institute of Technology over on 28 Bypass in Anderson, we'd love to have you come out. If you want to get tickets, check out our Facebook page, Anderson Area Touchdown Club. And we have great speakers. You know who our speaker was today, don't you, Phil?
Well, I was going to say, you're certainly taking a step up with your speaker next week and the week after and the week after.
Yeah, we go from Phil Kornblut to Chan Gailey to Jim Donnan to Tony Barnhart. So we've got a wide range of speakers.
You guys do a great job. I don't know, though. I don't think I've been booed as much as Chan Gailey has in his life, but
no, I don't think so. Sure,
he's probably deserved some of that, and so have I. So, hey, thank you so much. Great hearing from you. I know you're feeling good about the Red Sox tonight, and the Yankees are losing, so it's been a good night for you.
Yeah, well, I haven't been able to follow the game because I'm broadcasting the Hannah game, but I did alert come across my phone at one time. They were up 4-0. If you have an update, I'd love to hear it.
I do not. I'm watching the Yankees lose to the Rays 4-1. So that's all I can tell you.
So far, it's been a great night then.
So I'm telling you, you should be a happy man.
Well, listen, hey, Phil, thanks for having me on. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow night in Clemson.
All right, sir. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. Kevin Selman does the play-by-play for TL Hannah. Thanks to Kevin for joining us tonight. He gets us started with our reports out in the fields, and we've got more coming. We'll update more scores as well after this break on the High School Scoreboard.
Relax on and off the field with Founders Federal Credit Union. With services like Founders Online and the Founders app, you'll enjoy all the perks of a big bank with local personalized service. If you're looking for low rates, look to Founders. Not a member? Joining Founders Federal Credit Union is easy. Visit relaxjoinfounders.com or one of our more than 30 office locations to see if you qualify for membership. Services require credit evaluation. Terms and conditions apply. Founders Federal Credit Union is federally insured by NCUA.
In Columbia, South Carolina, game days are our specialty. Whether you're watching the game from inside the stadium or from the big screen at your favorite local spot, the energy remains the same. Craft the perfect fall Saturday in a city where there is plenty of action on and off the field. From tubing and kayaking to Soda City to rooftop restaurants and plenty barbecue. We're ready when you are. Plan your weekend at ExperienceColumbiaSC.com.
All South Carolinians are now eligible for the COVID-19 vaccines. For help finding a vaccine location in your area, visit scdhec.gov/vaxlocator or call 1-866-365-8110. COVID-19 vaccines are free and don't require ID or insurance. Visit scdhec.gov/vaxlocator or call 1-866-365-8110 to find a vaccine location near you.
Hi, this is Phil Kornblut, and for me, high school football Friday nights in the Palmetto State are electric. I want to know how all the teams in the state are doing. For that, I turn to scfootballstats.com. I've used scfootballstats.com for years as a resource, so I have all the scores and schedules right at my fingertips. And so can you. Never hunt for scores, standings, or rankings again. scfootballstats.com delivers weekly updates right to your inbox. Everything from your favorite teams, including Skeeza, all in one place. Fan subscriptions are just $25 for a full season of access. Head over to scfootballstats.com right now for a free trial. That's scfootballstats.com. Back on the high school scoreboard, Gilbert defeats Orangeburg Wilkinson tonight. Big win for Gilbert, 41-0. Spring Valley over Rock Hill, 41-0. Gray Collegiate, 42-0 over Batesburg Leesville. AC Flora has gone final over Westwood, 34-14. Brooklyn Casey, 28-0 over Fox Creek. Hammond, 14-0 over Trinity Burns Collegiate. Airport edges Midland Valley, 30-28. Dutch Fork, a final over White Knoll, 60-7. Northwestern, 52. Ridgeview, 22. Saluda, 43. Eau Claire, 0. Robert E. Lee, 26. Dillon Christian, 0. And Strom Thurmond over Swansea, 26-0. We'll continue to update the scores as they come in. Let's welcome to the high school scoreboard Joe Cashin, the revered play-by-play voice of the undefeated, nationally ranked Coastal Carolina Chanticleers, highest-ranked team in South Carolina. Joe Cashin will be on the call tomorrow when they take on ULM. Tonight, he was on hand to do the Dutch Fork White Knoll game, and I think that game you were on television, weren't you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm ugly enough to be on radio, you know. They put me on TV.
How about that?
I love that intro, Phil. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
You know, face for radio is what they say about me, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that.
No, it was a big time win tonight for Dutch Fork. You know, they were heavy favorites, obviously, the 5-time defending champs in 5A. And boy, they sure lived up to the billing tonight. And junior running back Jarvis Green, a huge night for the Silver Foxes. I mean, 4 touchdowns, all of them in the first quarter and first play of the second quarter. I mean, he just, you know, unofficially 177 on 9 carries, 4 touchdowns, averaging almost 20 yards a rush in this ball game. And this thing was in Dutch Fork's hands early, and often they scored whatever they want to. And defensively, they were just on top of things. And we talked about Chandler Perry, a linebacker, along with Christopher Wicker, rather. Those 2 guys are all over the place defensively for Tom Knott's club. And you know, who can slow that down, really? You know, obviously with what I do on Saturdays, it's a little harder for me to keep up with high school football on Friday nights. But I'll tell you what, this team just looks the part. My goodness, they've got athletes all across the board. And, you know, if you're White Knoll and Nick Pelham, it's going to be a rebuild for these guys, and he knows that. And he's going to try to get that culture inculcated at White Knoll to try to get to where he was when he was an assistant for Tom Knott. And so, those kids fought and they competed, and that's all you can ask for.
Oh, no question about it. I mean, let's face it. Dutch Fork is basically, except for maybe 2-3 schools in the state, clearly more talented. I'm not going to say, I mean, sure, the other teams are well coached, as prepared as they can be, but the talent and the speed and the size and the strength of the Dutch Fork team just, overcomes anything else another team might throw at them.
No question about that. You watch them in pregame warm-ups, and you just see some guys out there that look so good, you know, running the football, running through the football. You know, Antonio Williams, the wideout. I mean, that guy's going to go somewhere and be on somebody's roster, big-time Power 5 football. You know, he took a couple of passes tonight, and, you know, one went for 80 yards. He made a guy miss in the backfield, which was just special. I mean, he should have been tackled for a loss. Able to make his way out of that tackle and then make another guy miss down the field. And, you know, 80 yards later, they're kicking another extra point. So they've got guys across the board. And, you know, with what Coach Knott has done, Dutch Fork, with that culture and the way they just go out there and just take care of business. There's no letdown. You know, there's no letdown with this team. I mean, they go out there and they just punch you in the mouth right from the get-go. You know, they want to take that early lead and get some knockout blows on you. You know, once you get down a couple of scores to them, I mean, it's a long road to hoe. And, you know, again, White Knoll's got a long way to go. But I think if they stick it out with Coach Pelham, you know, just talking to him, I had a chance to talk to him earlier today. Just so impressed with what he wants to do. You know, what he kind of wants to build at White Knoll. And I think he'll get there. He's just going to need some time to do that.
Hey, Joe, as always, we appreciate it, man. Have a great call tomorrow on the Coastal game, and we'll look for you again on a high school game here in the upcoming weeks.
Hey, I'm going to be on the next few. I've got the month of October with Coastal schedule. We have an odd schedule. You know, we've got this game Saturday, and then we've got a Thursday game at Arkansas State, a Wednesday game at App, and then another Thursday night. So I've got some free Friday nights coming up. So I'm going to take in a lot of. You know, if you want me to chime in and give you some more calls, I'll be glad to do it.
Absolutely, lines open. You call us anytime.
All right, Bill. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Joe. Good hearing from you. Joe Cashin, voice of Coastal Carolina, telling us about Dutch Fork, which had another huge win tonight over White Knoll. We keep it on the phone lines. We welcome in Bob Corlew. The story on Dorman and Riverside. Hello, Bob. I have to introduce you from WQUL, our affiliate up in the upstate, 101.7 FM, covering Spartanburg, Woodruff, and all that part of South Carolina. Hello, sir.
How are you, sir? It's talking about big wins. Dorman had a big win tonight. Final score, Dorman 47 and Riverside 14. It was quite an interesting game in a whole lot of respects. Riverside got the ball first. They went 3 and out, and then Dorman came back, and on the very first play from scrimmage, they had a 60-yard pass play tally to DJ Porter and put 7 points on the board. Riverside then came back and scored to tie it up 7-7 with a 22-yard pass play. During that series, though, there was a sack of the Riverside quarterback, Rob Sanders, and he continued to play but sustained an injury which about 3 plays later caused him to leave the game, and he did not return to the game. And that really was the deciding factor. Dorman was up 14-7 when Rob Sanders went out. Dorman scored on their next possession in 10 plays, 88-yard drive. From there on, it was really all Dorman. Dorman had a 70-yard drive capped by a 47-yard run by DJ Porter. The backup quarterback for Dorman, Bomar, had an 88-yard drive and quarterback sneak that took him into the end zone for a touchdown. Riverside had a bad snap on a punt, and Dorman ended up recovering that one and took it on in for a touchdown then on that same play. Then Dorman had a massive punt return, 40-some yards, and scored again on a 2-yard run. Riverside then scored with a backup quarterback on a 20-yard pass play. Then Dorman capped it off with a 74-yard quarterback run from their backup quarterback. Final score, Dorman 47 and Riverside 14. During that game, Phil, Dorman actually had 551 yards total offense. Riverside had 222. So to be very fair, it was it appears to be an all offensive game, but to be fair, the defenses both played vital roles in there. One factor that doesn't immediately surface was the penalties. There were tons of penalties. Riverside was penalized 47 yards, but Dorman had 173 yards in penalties against them. It was kind of like the yellow flag was popping out just about every other play. And that was certainly a dynamic, which was a big part of the game. It was a homecoming game for the Cavaliers, and Dorman, of course, was happy to get the win. Dorman faces Gaffney next week. So it's another big game going into tonight. Riverside actually, I think, was favored. They were rated 6th in the state in 5A, according to the numbers we have, and Dorman was 7th. And then Gaffney comes in again. I'm not sure where they are rated right now, but another top 10 team. So Dorman really has had their hands full with big teams, and it'll be another big game next week.
All right, Bob. Thank you so much, man. Great report. We appreciate it as always. Dorman gets it done in a big way tonight, knocking off Riverside, handing Riverside its first loss of the season. High school football scoreboard, Founders Federal Credit Union. Back in a moment.
Olivia.
On and off the field with Founders Federal Credit Union. With
Laid off and trying to keep our little kids from realizing that mommy and daddy haven't eaten in a while.
Roger from California. I'm grateful we could afford our son's surgery. I'm nervous that now we can't really afford food.
Daniel from California. Choosing whether to pay the rent or pay to fix the car to get to work doesn't leave us with much at all. Now we can't even pay for meals.
Donna from Louisiana. The storm just hit, and we went from donating to the food bank to needing it.
Keisha from South Carolina. I've been skipping meals so my 2 kids can eat, but filling up on water doesn't really work.
Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
With SRN News, I'm Jason Walker. President Biden's popularity continues to plummet. A new survey finds right now it's at 50-50. Biden's approval rating has dropped among Democrats and independents. Federal judge hearing arguments over whether Texas can leave its place in its new pro-life law. The judge will consider whether to temporarily halt the law that bans abortions once cardiac activity has been detected. Pharmaceutical giant Merck says its experimental COVID-19 pill reduced hospitalizations and deaths by half in people recently infected with the virus. Company says it will soon ask officials worldwide to authorize its use. And 2 people are dead in a mid-air collision over Arizona. This is SRN News.
Oh man, storm's coming. I need to be prepared. Where's my phone? Oh, there it is. All right, here's the Dominion Energy app with Face ID, and I am ready to go. That's right, folks. If those South Carolina storms hit, the new Dominion Energy mobile app is a must-have. So easy to use and convenient to have around. It's not just for power outages. With this app, you have instant access to all of your energy usage, too. Pretty cool stuff. Take it from me. Be prepared this season and download it today. For many years, I've bragged about the great work Stone Interiors does in the home. And brag's the right word, because before I endorsed Stone Interiors, I was a customer first. That means I've been through the same process you can go through. Lainey and I visited the showroom. We were in awe of the selection as we wanted a unique granite look for our kitchen. We got that for our countertops. We found something special. The team at Stone Interiors put the plan in motion. They came out, they installed the granite that we've been loving and beaming about ever since. When folks visit our home, inevitably, we end up in the kitchen talking and someone comments about the granite, from its look to its texture. So is it time to enjoy some new granite, marble, or quartz? Do you need a beautiful new backsplash in the kitchen? What about a new fireplace or an outdoor kitchen? Stone Interiors has taken great care of folks in the Midlands for 20 years. They're locally owned and operated, and that's essential. You can visit the showroom, do a virtual appointment if you want, whatever you're comfy with. Visit stoneinteriors.com or give them a call, 461-8950. And, of course, tell them you heard about it from The Point.
Have you fallen behind on your taxes and might be facing IRS penalties? Have wage garnishments, levies, or liens? Have unfiled tax returns? You want someone local and qualified. Don't fall for those national spots. Meet with me, Teresa, at Capital City Professional Services, and let me help you through your tax maze. I can help with all your tax resolution issues. There are options to get you back on track. Call Capital City Professional Services, 400-8683. That's 400-8683.
There are a lot of exciting things happening this fall. I want to focus on what's important, not what's for dinner. Luckily, HelloFresh delivers everything I need, and it's 30% cheaper than grocery shopping. The quick and easy recipes are perfect for weeknights. We're all busy, but with HelloFresh, I actually have time to enjoy my meals. Go to HelloFresh.com/DanaCortez14 and use code DanaCortez14 for up to 14 free meals plus free shipping. That's code DanaCortez14 for 14 free meals at HelloFresh.com/DanaCortez14.
The pandemic's reminded us we live in a sea of airborne germs that can assault us with every breath. Your nose is the body's first line of defense by helping filter out allergens, bacteria, and viruses before they reach your lungs. So how do you clean your nose? Navage uses powered suction to flush out mucus and germs that cause congestion, or worse, can make you sick. Over 2 million people use Navage to breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier without drugs. Go to Navage.com or find Navage at Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Bed Bath, and Target.
All right, welcome back into the high school football scoreboard, brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. On this beautiful Friday evening around the Palmetto State, Phil Kornblut and Pat Daniel and Matt Smith all together at our downtown Columbia studios, and we've got people waiting to give us reports from across the state and give you a couple of more finals. Dreer over Lugoff Elgin tonight. Final score of 28-20. Silver Bluff in that showdown with Wade Hampton of Hampton, and the Bulldogs win it 40-14 on their homecoming night. Great Falls over Louisville 18-7, and Camden over Crestwood 35-26. We'll give you more scores here just a little bit. In the meantime, let's go to Monty Dutton, who was at the Clinton game tonight. Always good having Monty with us to tell us about the Clinton and Union County game tonight. Monty, welcome in. How are you?
The fact that Clinton is 6-0 for the first time since early in this century is the whole town's got a spring in its step. There's a really big crowd at stately Wilder Stadium tonight, home of the world's hottest press box in August and the world's coldest in November. But the Red Devils won 56-21, and Bryson James had 3 touchdowns. And Clinton had one 90-yard interception return and another that was close to that far. Who was counting by that time? I was up in the stands. But it was a spectacular. This Clinton team is primarily a rushing team, but it has a breakaway aspect. They have 3 running backs, Jai Gary, the aforementioned Bryson James, and Jyshawn Copeland. And they're all could break it at any time. And they have a lot of speed on this team. And 56-21 is 34-7 halftime. Clinton ran out the clock by taking a knee when they were on the 2-yard line. And so it was an overwhelming performance against another in a series of teams, Lawrence, Newberry, Union, that Clinton has had a hard time beating in the last 10 years. And so it's sort of a big payback year for the Red Devils as well. And they're ranked 3rd in 3A, and they're seeming more and more for real. And I would say that in 2 weeks, when Chapman comes to Clinton, it's going to be one of the biggest games in the state.
Oh, there's no question about that. And real quick, what has elevated? I know the new coach in the last couple of years has come in, and he was a terrific coach before he got there. But from a culture standpoint, a mentality standpoint, what things has he changed?
Well, he has a fine staff. I remember that Chris Weiner, when he was still at Lawrence before he went to Greenwood, he told me that he thought that Corey had assembled a really top-flight coaching staff for a 3A team. And they have a surprise member who's been contributed because the deposed PC coach, Tommy Spangler, is volunteering helping Clinton's defense, and he's had an effect. I haven't seen a Clinton team tackle as well and look as fundamentally solid in pass defense in a number of years. And so he's sort of a secret weapon that he tries to play it down, but he has contributed. He's been a surprise who's greatly helped the Red Devils on defense.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Okay, Monty, as always, we appreciate it. You have yourself a great night, a great weekend. We'll talk to you next week. Thanks very much.
Next time when you see my old running mate Chris Bergen, give him my best.
I certainly will. He's a busy man. We can't hardly keep up with him. He's doing high school. He's doing college. He's doing sports talk. He is just the man.
Chris, he's right where he's always wanted to be, and you're very fortunate to have him.
Yes, indeed. We thank you, sir. We appreciate you joining us.
All right, thanks. Good talking to you.
You too. All right, Monty Dutton. Let's continue with the reporters. And we've got Chris Deering, who was at the Lexington River Bluff game tonight. Heck of a ball game. Lexington pulled it out by a single skinny point, 21-20. Chris, thank you so much for joining us. And how'd this one play out at the very end?
Well, the first time, Phil, it looked like it was going to be all River Bluff. They actually led 20-7 at the half. And then to start the second half, Lexington came out, got the ball first, and went on a 19-play, 80-yard drive. You don't see those every single day. And took over 8 minutes off the clock, scored a touchdown, got it within 20-14. Stayed that way. Teams sort of traded possessions for a while, and then Blake Smith intercepted a pass with about 4 minutes to go. Set Lexington up on the River Bluff side of the field, and they drove down, and Tyler Walker scored on a 11-yard run, and then the PAT was good, and that gave Lexington the lead, and River Bluff really never threatened after that.
Wow. What a win for Lexington. That's a huge win for them.
That is a big win. You know, they lost to West Florence to open the season and haven't lost since. They won 5 in a row, and this was a team that went 0-6 last year. So a great job by Perry Woolbright turning this program around a little bit, and that was a big win. You know, at halftime, really and truly, it looked like River Bluff was in control. Just going over the stats real quick, I don't think River Bluff had but 28 yards of offense in the second half. So that, you know, great adjustments by that staff, and just a big win. I can't say enough about the atmosphere we were in tonight, Phil. You don't get these everywhere in the Midlands. What we had tonight, it was a packed house. Student sections were out strong. I wish I could go somewhere like this every Friday night and be involved in this. Just a great atmosphere for high school football.
Hey, we thank you so much for the report. It sounds like it, and the fans got what they paid for. An excellent, exciting ball game. Thank you for filling us in, and we'll talk to you next week.
Sounds great. You have a great weekend.
Thank you. All right, Chris Deering with us here on the high school football scoreboard. Let's stay on the lines, and we've got a hot call from HSSR.com. It's Billy Baker on the scene at one of the big games tonight.
I get it fast. Don't worry about it. I get it fast.
Hello, Billy. Welcome in. Billy Baker.
Silver Bluff, and when I drove in tonight, they had more tailgating and barbecue ribs on the grill. This was an atmosphere tonight. The home stands was packed on homecoming. Silver Bluff wins the game 40-14. Wade Hampton actually led in this game 14-13 early in the third quarter, and then it was all Travion Dunbar, the outstanding sophomore running back, about 5'9", 185 pounds, 4'4", finished third in the sprint last year in AA. He's a burner. He'll be at South Carolina tomorrow. The Gamecocks are in on him really hard now as a sophomore. We'll have him on the air after we speak to Coach Bryant. Silver Bluff won state titles in 2000 and 2001 with Coach Bryant, probably the best player on the team. Went to Wake Forest after those years. Silver Bluff has not won a state title since those years, and they've won 5. Tonight, Travion Dunbar, 201 yards on 21 carries, touchdown runs of 17, 3, and 66. And to be honest with you, they didn't let him really tote the mail a lot until the second half, and he carried the ball a lot. And just an outstanding young man. He's very humble and focused, and he's probably going to be one of the great ones down the road, we hope. But Coach Bryant tonight, as a team, get this, 62 plays for Silver Bluff, 441 yards. They rushed for 259. They passed for 182. The key tonight was Risher, the outstanding quarterback athlete at Wade Hampton, came into this game 803 yards on 101 carries. The entire Wade Hampton team tonight was held to about 85 yards. So we give you D'Angelo Bryant with his 17 seniors. This is the group of players that actually started with him 4 years ago when he became the head coach. This is the 4th-ranked team in South Carolina by the High School Sports Report in AA. And Coach Bryant's very happy sitting on the bench here at the 50-yard line in Silver Bluff. Here's Coach Bryant, and then when he's through, one of the better sophomore prospects in South Carolina will join us on the air. But here's Coach Bryant first.
Thank you, Billy. Thank you.
Hey, Phil, how you doing?
Coach, congratulations. It must be a Wake Forest thing, okay? They're undefeated. You're undefeated. Come on, man. What's going on?
Hey, listen. I'll take this happy days around here down in Petticoat Junction the same way it's up there in Winston-Salem.
Listen, man, we can remember the great days out at Petticoat Junction when winning championships was practically an everyday thing. Sounds like you're kind of building back towards where it was a few years ago.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, I got to credit my assistant coaches more than anything. I mean, we got a group of guys who are alums of Silver Bluff, and so we wanted to bring back a culture here, and just start slowly with building on a lot of things. So we started with the weight room. And went with an attitude, and we've just been very fortunate to have just a great group of young men overall, high character guys that we're able to coach.
You beat a good team tonight. I mean, it's a one-sided win, a very solid win, but you beat a good club.
Yeah, I mean, they were 5-0 for a reason, and we knew that they were going to be tough. We preached to the guys all week long about how scrappy they are, and Coach Hannah's doing a great job down there, and some of those guys, they still got some of Dr. Brown in them as well. So I mean, those guys were tough, they're physical, and they're some good athletes. And like I tell our guys, that's a playoff football team and a team that can possibly go deep in the playoffs. So we had to grit and grind a little bit, and we got our cell phone out of the saddle in the second half, and we was able to make a run and put up about 27 points straight.
Wow, that's quite a run. Besides having the excellent running back that Billy mentioned, you have to have some guys up front. How good's your line of scrimmage on both sides?
Well, I mean, when you talk about the defensive line, a senior-led group, my son Jaden McLeod has been playing lights out this season. Just absolutely lives in the backfield, and guys like Jermaine Jackson, who's been a 4-year starter for us. And I can't rave enough about our two inside linebackers. I mean, those guys have been flying all over the place. And then we've actually got a kid, Davon Simpkins. He's going to be one to watch. Kind of transferred into us, and he's just kind of been a man of a child with a lot of different things. So, and then you flip over on offense, you're talking about 4 guys up front, definitely 3 of them who've been starters since their 10th grade year. Corey, he's an all-state player, and he's kind of the leader of that group. But Connor Barton has been probably one of our better linemen this season, and he's been a starter for us as well. So really proud of our guys and what they're doing up front, and frees up a lot of things to be able to happen for our running game, and also for our guys being able to get downhill and tackle.
Sounds great. Now, I know you've got Mr. Dunbar with you there. Do you want to just hand him over to us?
Oh, absolutely. Here he goes.
Thank you. Sophomore standout, Travion Dunbar. Hello, Travion.
How you doing?
I'm doing fine. You're on statewide radio here in South Carolina. Congratulations on your performance tonight.
Thank you.
Tell us about how things felt for you out there tonight. You obviously had some nice holes to run through.
Yes, sir. The first half, it was okay. Had a couple yards, 5-5. It was like a grinded out game. It's always when I get up to the second half is when I start to break tackles and long runs, really.
Yeah. You like to you feel like you can wear down defenses as you just continue to pound the rock?
Yes, sir, especially because we have advantage because we don't have to go both ways on offense and defense. So usually 2A schools, they like to go, like most of their players like to go both ways. So I feel like we have advantage with our offense and our defense where we could just break them down the whole game.
No, sure. What do you like about, this team overall? You guys are undefeated. You won a big showdown kind of game tonight. Overall, what do you like about the makeup of this team?
Just the way we put in work. We put in a lot of work. Just before the game, we had with it. We just like putting a bunch of work, and we like to stick together.
Yeah. You feel like this team can go all the way? I mean, at some point in time, you might have to run into a place called Abbeville or maybe Gray Collegiate.
Yes, sir. I'll take my team over Gray Collegiate and Abbeville any day. I feel like we can definitely make a long run and make it to state.
I think you got a chance to be right there. Hey, congratulations once again. Enjoy your recruiting visit to South Carolina tomorrow.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Thank you very much. Thank you, Billy Baker. And thank you, Coach Bryant from over at Silver Bluff, as the Bulldogs win again. Big game against Wade Hampton of Hampton. And they took care of their business tonight on their homecoming. They basically left no doubt in this one, winning by a score of 40-14. And thanks everybody who called in during that segment. We'll update scores. David Shelton has now joined us, and we'll get to David after the break, get his thoughts on that Silver Bluff win and other games around the state, and we'll continue with reports too. This is the Founders Federal High School Football Scoreboard around South Carolina on the Sports Talk Media Network.
Relax on and off the field with Founders Federal Credit Union. With services like Founders Online and the Founders app, you'll enjoy all the perks of a big bank with local personalized service. If you're looking for low rates, look to Founders. Not a member? Joining Founders Federal Credit Union is easy. Visit relaxjoinfounders.com or one of our more than 30 office locations to see if you qualify for membership. Services require credit evaluation. Terms and conditions apply. Founders Federal Credit Union is federally insured by NCUA.
Hi, I'm State Treasurer Curtis Loftus, and I've got a great gift idea that requires zero shopping, the gift of college savings. Future Scholar, South Carolina's 529 college savings plan makes it easy. Grandparents, friends, and family can all contribute to a Future Scholar account and know that they're providing a gift that will last a lifetime. If you're looking for the perfect gift this holiday season, look no further. Learn more about the smart, easy way to save and give this holiday season at futurescholar.com.
Hi, this is Phil Kornblut, and for me, high school football Friday nights in the Palmetto State are electric. And I want to know how all the teams in the state are doing. For that, I turn to scfootballstats.com. I've used scfootballstats.com for years as a resource, so I have all the scores and schedules right at my fingertips. And so can you. Never hunt for scores, standings, or rankings again. scfootballstats.com delivers weekly updates right to your inbox. Everything from your favorite teams, including Skeeza, all in one place. Fan subscriptions are just $25 for a full season of access. Head over to scfootballstats.com right now for a free trial. That's scfootballstats.com.
I learned that people are just looking for somebody to listen to them. You can't just start cutting somebody's hair and you're going to be quiet the whole time because you're not going to be in business long.
The South Carolina Education Lottery has provided over $800 million to help students attend technical colleges across our state, investing in a new generation of entrepreneurs, just like James. Your passion is our purpose.
We are back on the high school football scoreboard. Good to have you with us on this Friday night. Glad you are tuned in. Hopefully you're enjoying what you're hearing. Nation Ford over Fort Mill tonight, 35-0. South Point 28, Catawba Ridge 18, York 19, Indian Land 13. And looking for some others, Andrew Jackson over Central 30-12. Chesney defeats, fourth quarter, Chesney 28, Legion Collegiate 14. And let's see if we have anything else in here for you. That brings us up to date for now. So with that, let's go to David Shelton as he joins us now to provide his analytical breakdown of games across the state. First of all, David, welcome in. Good to have you. And tell us about your game tonight down the Low Country.
Yeah, I got to see Cane Bay for the first time. You know, they were off to a 4-1 start. Region 7 opener against Wando. And I tell you, this Cane Bay team was impressive. They win 27-7. Defensively, they did not allow 100 total yards in the first three quarters, and their backups basically played the fourth quarter. And Wando didn't score until the very last offensive snap of the game against the backup. But on offense, you know, Cane Bay does the old option offense, kind of like Abbeville and Berkeley and the Paul Johnson type offense, and really ran the ball exceptionally well, but threw the quarterback, Javion Johnson, who's a track star, threw 2 touchdown passes, completed 4 passes for 155 yards. And in the first half, Cane Bay had scoring drives of 90 and 95 yards, and what just really took control of the game. Kind of cruised, kicked 2 field goals. Every kickoff went through the end zone. I mean, it was a really in all 3 phases, Cane Bay was really impressive tonight.
Oh, it sounds like it. We just had a report and from Billy Baker and had coach on and player Silver Bluff pretty much dominating Wade Hampton of Hampton tonight. We talked about that game on Sports Talk, what a big game it was in 2A, and now Silver Bluff undefeated. And really, they have the makings of a team that can play with Gray Collegiate, can play with Abbeville.
Well, they're the best team in the lower state. I picked them to win the lower state, and I'm going to stick with it until somebody beats them. I just think they're the best team. With Gray and Abbeville, they're both in the upper state, so only one of them is going to get to Columbia. And but I would still say, as much as I like what the Silver Bluff team's got with some experience, and they got that Dunbar kid that's a really good player, I still say Gray and Abbeville, one of those will win the state championship. But Silver Bluff could represent the lower state, and then, you get there, anything could happen. But I talked to D'Angelo Bryant at the coaches clinic in July, and I just felt like he was very confident that they were going to be very good. I mean, he wasn't bragging and cocky and over the top, but you get the sense that he just thought they were going to be really good because of the experience they have, and they have the playmaker at running back. They have good linemen. They have good size, and it turns out I mean, he convinced me that day without having seen him. I was like, you know what, I'm going to pick Silver Bluff to win the lower state.
Well, and they're right on track to do that. Earlier, we got the report on Dorman Riverside, and much as you suspected when you were on earlier tonight, you were suspect of Riverside's schedule, even though they were undefeated, and they fall big to Dorman, 47-14. Maybe Dorman's starting to put some things together here as well.
Yeah, I think Dorman's going to get healthy, probably getting healthier. They've had some COVID issues, had some injuries. When I saw them play Fort Dorchester, they were down 15 guys, and they usually play 2 or 3 quarterbacks. They only had one. Their receivers were having to play corner because they didn't have any healthy corners. And as they've gotten players back and gotten healthy, I heard the report tonight from the guy, and Bomar, the backup quarterback, had a good game. They're going to be a team. I think they play Gaffney next week, but they're going to be a team. Dorman's Dorman. I mean, you can write down a list of about 5 or 6 schools in all the classifications, and come mid to late November, for the most part, most of them are going to still be playing. That's just the way it is.
Yeah. Broome has beaten Robbinsville of North Carolina 46-43 as we check on some scores that are just getting into us from the upstate. So a big win there by the Centurions. And let me see, David, what about my scoreboard here? My score sheet is.
I tell you, the one game I heard you giving scores. The one game that kind of caught my attention was Northwestern just kind of pounding Ridgeview. I think the margin was like 30 points. Ridgeview is a team that started the preseason in the top 5 in 5A. A lot of players back, a lot of talented athletes, some Division I prospects. But this Northwestern team, I tell you, they lost to South Point early, the first game of the year, and they have not been tested since. They are putting it together. I kind of think Northwestern is going to be a real legitimate contender in the 5A.
Yeah, I think that score was along the lines of 52-22, something like that. So it was pretty strong, dominating performance. All right, David, hang on. We're going to hit a break here at the top of the hour. We'll come back, get more from you. We'll go back over the scores. We will get more reports from reporters out in the fields tonight, and maybe catch up with a happy coach or two. Certainly there are a bunch of happy coaches, just like we talked to D'Angelo Bryant from Silver Bluff. And I remember Coach Bryant from his recruiting days coming out of Silver Bluff and going to Wake Forest. And, well, he's loving life. His Demon Deacons are undefeated, and his Bulldogs are undefeated. Blue Ridge over Carolina tonight. Final score of 47-0 there. And so more scores are coming in. We'll get those to you. Hear more from David. Get more reports as well. You're listening to South Carolina's statewide high school football scoreboard show, brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. And we're back after the top of the hour break.
Local in the morning, afternoon, and evening. Columbia's local talk radio experience. 107 The Point. MakeThePointRadio.com. The Point. The Point.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
Grills, outdoor kitchens, fireplaces. Summer sizzle starts with Bart. This is 107 The Point.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Jason Walker. Hoping to make some headway Friday, President Biden went to Capitol Hill to meet with lawmakers as Democrats strain to rescue a scaled-back version of Biden's $3.5 trillion government overhaul. The president did huddle privately with House Democrats. Speaking afterward with reporters, Biden was asked when the legislation might be done.
It doesn't matter when. It doesn't matter whether it's in 6 minutes, 6 days, or 6 weeks. We're going to get it done.
And the White House says Biden also planning to visit a number of American cities next week in order to make his case. At the same time, the president's popularity continues to drop like a rock. A new poll by the Associated Press NORC Center for Public Affairs Research finds right now it's about 50-50, and Biden's approval rating has dropped among Democrats and independents. Also at townhall.com, shooting Friday at a charter school in Houston. Ed Donahue has the story.
A former student at Yes Prep Southwest Secondary tried to get into the school.
He gained entry by shooting through a glass door and immediately fired upon one of the employees of the school.
Police Chief Troy Finner says the employee was shot in the back. The 7th grader told KTRK-TV,
"When I was coming out, I saw blood and glass shattering everywhere."
The former student was taken into custody. Resident Lillian Jones says school shootings have got to end.
We've got to wrap our arms around this thing and just commit to stopping it.
No students were injured. I'm Ed Donahue.
And more on these stories at townhall.com.
Trading involves financial risk and is not suitable for all investors. Past results do not guarantee future performance.
Due to the volatility in the geopolitical landscape and impacts of COVID variants, it's virtually impossible to guess what the market will do next. With Vantage Point, you don't have to. Want to see the next big stock market moves in advance? Text the word money to 813-813 to learn how our AI analyzes over 1 million data points per day. Text the word money to 813-813 so you can learn how to predict stock market trends up to 3 days ahead with incredible accuracy. Whether you're trading stocks, options, Forex, futures, or crypto, Vantage Point's patented artificial intelligence can give you a massive edge. Text money to 813-813 to find out how to protect your capital and maximize gains. Text the word money to 813-813 and time your entries and exits to perfection. Don't wait. Text money to 813-813 now.
By texting in, you consent to receive calls, voice, and text messages using automated technology regarding offers by or on behalf of Vantage Point.
Drug maker Merck says its experimental COVID-19 pill reduced hospitalizations and deaths by half in those recently infected with the virus. That is potentially a leap forward in the global battle against the pandemic. Vanderbilt University Medical Center's Dr. William Schaffner says that a pill to treat COVID would make things much easier.
Having pills available that can prevent the evolution into serious disease would change the way we can treat. At the moment, people who are newly infected have to come to special treatment centers to receive their intravenous infusions.
At the Supreme Court, Justice Sonia Sotomayor has denied an emergency appeal from teachers to block New York's COVID vaccine mandate for public school teachers. Breaking news and analysis at townhall.com.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
Grills, outdoor kitchens, fireplaces. Summer sizzle starts with Bart. This is 107 The Point.
When I served in Iraq and Afghanistan, my buddies and I would do anything for each other. That's important whether you're in a firefight or fighting to regain your life. When I came home injured, there are people I can count on, like DAV.
DAV, Disabled American Veterans, stands behind America's veterans to make their transition back home easier with free services and help getting the benefits they've earned. Help us fulfill the promise to our men and women who served. Go to DAV.org to learn more.
Don't you forget, pressing the button can also be enjoyable for you.
This is the Founders Federal High School Football Scoreboard on the Sports Talk Media Network. Coming up, scores and reports from across the state and analysis from David Shelton. The Scoreboard is brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. Relax, you're with Founders. Now your host for the High School Scoreboard, Phil Kornblut.
All right, welcome back, everybody. It is hour number 2 of the High School Football Scoreboard across the state of South Carolina. Phil Kornblut and David Shelton now with us, along with Pat Daniel and Matt Smith. We're here in Columbia, and David is down in the Low Country. David, we had Chris Deering on earlier, and he was telling us about the big crowd they had for that Lexington game tonight. What an enthusiastic crowd it was. Now, what about down your way? Are you seeing the crowds, folks starting to come back in big numbers at these high school games you're attending?
I think Cane Bay's crowd was pretty good. But honestly, crowds in the Low Country are not what they used to be. Berkeley, Goose Creek usually bring up a pretty good crowd. Somerville's crowd was okay last week. No, I don't see sellouts down in the Low Country anymore. Good, decent crowd, but no sellouts, no standing room only type things. That it's just not. There's too much other stuff going on down here for people to do. To be honest with you.
Yeah. And we had a report too on the Dutch Fork game. Of course, they just obliterated White Knoll, and they just continue to cruise. Joe Cashin was on the call on television on that game. First time he'd seen Dutch Fork. Now, Joe's seen a lot of football over the years, and he couldn't say enough good things about this Dutch Fork team, and they just continue to annihilate everybody in their path.
Yeah, and this was not a good matchup for White Knoll tonight. They're kind of rebuilding with Coach Pelham, and Dutch Fork is Dutch Fork. And I'm telling you, you might as well get used to this for the rest of the season. They're going to have these kind of games the rest of the season.
So, I mean, and Patterson is the guy who was settled in at quarterback. They have the youngster who transferred from Wilmington, Alium Applier, I think it is. So, I mean, and Patterson's a senior. So it looks like they're set up just to transition into another talented quarterback, quality quarterback next year and keep it rolling.
Well, and you might as well anticipate that some other quarterback's going to move in too. I mean, quarterbacks want to play in that offense with those athletes, and they're gonna never. I can't. Well, it's hard to remember when they didn't have a quarterback, and I don't think we can foresee in the future where they won't have a quarterback. It'll be somebody.
All right, how about
Before
this?
long, it'll be Tom Knott's son.
It could be Tom Knott's son. He's got one coming up.
Yeah. Well, he's only like 11 or 12, but if Tom Knott stays around, that's where you might see.
And how about this one? Myrtle Beach beating West Florence tonight on the road, 14-7. That's a really big win, a really solid win for the Seahawks.
Yeah, I thought that would be a very close game. We talked on Sports Talk. I thought there'd be a little more points, but I think Myrtle Beach's defense is probably, as much as their offense gets so much play and publicity, I think this defense is probably pretty darn good.
All right. Before we get back into the scores, we've got somebody ready to give us a report, so we're going to have to get a handwritten note on who this is. Because
it's easy.
Oh,
enough,
hey,
Phil.
Smitty.
It's easy enough. It's Chris Bergen calling
Oh.
on the Sockasty
Oh, it's-
Sumter game, Braves and Gamecocks.
We're all together too. Welcome, Bergie. You got Smitty on the mic. You got Corn. You got Pat Daniel. The whole family's here.
All right, so I'm assuming between the four of us, and I'm including David into this as well, I'm assuming we may have about 80 years of high school coverage between the group.
Pretty much so. Most of that on David's side because David's about
Yeah.
75 years old.
Yeah, I'm at 32 and counting. So
The reason I bring this up is I saw something tonight I have never seen before, and I'll be curious if any of you did. And I'm so thrilled that I beat Kevin Ireland in here to steal his thunder. In the game tonight's Sumter won 23-10 over Socastee, a game that had 3 safeties.
Oh.
Wow. I have not
Anybody
seen
got
that. Nope, I've never seen that.
And 2 of them were bad snaps, one for Sumter over the head of Ryan McCants, their quarterback. One after Socastee had gotten an interception in the end zone, they returned it out to the 5. And Rocco Wojcik, the quarterback for Socastee, was tackled in the end zone on the ensuing play. And then a little bit later in the game, Wojcik, who also doubles as their punter, had the ball snapped over his head out of the back of the end zone for the 3rd safety to go along with 6 turnovers combined between the 2 teams.
Oh,
it was
my.
not what you would say a pretty game between the 2, but Sumter able to get a pair of touchdowns from Zaire Gamble tonight, and that was pretty much the difference in the contest as the Gamecocks go to 5-1 and Socastee.
Oop. Are we losing Smitty? Has Smitty gone into cell hell? Not
No,
Smitty,
that's
I mean Chris. I'm sorry. Chris. Chris, you with us?
It's very possible.
There
Yes,
you go.
I'm here.
There you go. All right, good.
I'm sorry.
I was going to ask you that, I saw scores coming in early on and looked like Socastee was kind of hanging in there for a while. This one was a kind of a tight ball game until I guess Sumter was able to extend the lead.
It was funny. It was 14-8, and then Socastee got that safety. I referenced the snap over the head of Ryan McCants to make it 14-10, and that was late 3rd quarter. The free kick that went to Socastee was returned out near midfield. Socastee fumbled the football on the return. Sumter got the recovery, and they marched it in a little bit later to go up. I'm trying to drive and read my notes at the same time.
Oh,
so
don't do
not
that.
Smart to do, but nonetheless, Sumter able to punch it in to go up 21-10, and that was really in a game that had so many wild momentum swings, Phil. That was probably the difference in the game, that free kick fumble return by Socastee and then the ensuing touchdown by Sumter to go up 21-10.
How'd you enjoy calling a game from Sumter or from the Sumter football stadium?
It was nice. The one funny thing, if you've ever been inside the press box at Sumter, they've got to climb up to the press level, they've got basically 2 ladders that double as stairs. So they alternate the steps. And for clumsy people like myself trying to carry radio equipment up, it's not the best. But being able to be in there and sit beside a broadcast legend like Kevin Ireland was fun. And it's only the 2nd time I've been to Sumter. I was over there one time when Lake City played a jamboree just to watch, but I never broadcasted from there. So that was a first on the bucket list, as was the 3 safeties in the ballgame.
Well, you've had quite the night, young man, quite the night. And we thank you. Enjoy your broadcast, being part of the Chanticleer Network tomorrow in that game, and we'll see you on Monday.
Look forward to it, Phil. Thanks, guys.
All right, thank you very much. All right, David, so a very solid win for Sumter. The Gamecocks, if I remember correctly, I think they lost their season opener, but they've been on a roll since then.
Yeah, I mean they're a good football team. They're again, we talk about them that you can name 5 or 6 teams in every classification where you kind of expect them to be good, and Sumter's in that category. They're always going to be one of the better teams in the state.
I got a final in from Greer and Greenville. Pro Franklin, the quarterback up there for Greenville, good player, and had a big night throwing the football. It looks like he rushed for 66 yards and 3 touchdowns, and he passed for 253 yards and 2 touchdowns. So he counted for 5 touchdowns. I tell you, this Greenville offense, it's really good, and they beat Greer, David, 42-28.
Yeah, it is really good, and their defense is normally pretty good. So kudos to Greer for putting up some points. But Greenville lost to Northwestern, I guess 2 weeks ago, and but other than that, they've been really, really good, and they're going to be in the hunt. I mean, that's a very quality team, good defense, really good quarterback. And, I've always said in high school, or in pretty much every level, but definitely in high school, if you got a trigger man, if you got a guy that can make plays, you're going to be one of those teams in the playoffs. I mean, quarterback is such a huge advantage if you've got one and the other team doesn't.
All right, let's catch you up on scores from the upstate. We've been a little slack there, waiting for scores to get in or to find scores somewhere. And so, in a fourth quarter score, Southside was leading Berea 32-0. Now finals, Broome over Robbinsville, North Carolina, 46-43. Blue Ridge over Carolina High, 47-0. Chapman 54, Woodruff 35. Heck of a game there. Abbeville, David, 49-0 over Crescent. It was Chesney over Legion Collegiate, 28-21. Belton Honeypath, 53. Pendleton, 27. Powdersville beat Palmetto, 55-20. Daniel, 35. Seneca, 14. St. Joseph's, 41. Blacksburg, 13. Clinton, as we had earlier from Monty Dutton, a big win over Union County, 56-21. Let me ask you about Clinton again. I think they're now, 6-0. Really playing some excellent football, offense and defense. Monty mentioned again the impact of Tommy Spangler working with that defense, and that's a real impact he apparently is having.
Yeah, I mean, the guys have been around coaching, been a head coach, been a great defensive mind for many, many years. And so no surprise that they're good on defense. And Corey was wise to bring him in. Not sure PC was wise to not bring him back as a coach, but it's, PC's loss is Clinton's game.
Right down the road. I mean, Clinton High is about 5 miles from the PC campus. Didn't have to go very far. Yeah.
Exactly.
We've got Southside Christian 48 and McCormick nothing. Gaffney, big winner over Boiling Springs tonight, 34-0. How about this one, David? How about this one? Boy, in other years, other decades, this would have been like highlight game in the country. Spartanburg beat Burns 33-30 tonight.
Oh, wow. Wow, that is an upset. A big win for Spartanburg. Maybe this will be the one that gets them kind of turned around because Mark Hodge is trying to build something there, but that's a tough loss for Burns. They've given up some points this year. They got to fix that defense.
Yeah. All right, let's see what else we've got up that way. West Side, Scott Early's team gets a win over Easley, 58-20. And Gaffney over Boiling Springs, 34-0. I think I mentioned that. Hillcrest beat Malden, 41-24. What's that rivalry game called? Something Golden Corners or something?
Yeah, the gold.
What is it, Smitty? Smitty knows.
They're on the Golden Strip.
The Golden Strip.
They're on the Golden Strip. I don't know what they play for.
Yeah, I thought they had a little name for that.
Usually third place.
Walhalla beat Pickens, 51-34. We mentioned Dorman 47-14. Big winner over Riverside tonight. And Spartanburg 33-30. Travelers Rest beats Eastside 11-6. And it was TL Hanna over Woodmont 37-14. We had a report from that game, David. Hanna looks like they're rolling once again, and they've got a great shot to get back to the state championship game.
Yeah, the upper state has got some really good teams, though. I mean, they're certainly in that hunt, and with Northwestern, obviously the other team that we talked about earlier, but they're gonna be in the hunt. I mean, again, one of 5-6 teams. They're always going to be there, and this is the team that can be there for sure.
All right, there you go with some of the upstate scores. We'll hit the break here on the high school football scoreboard, and we'll come back with more scores from across the state and more of David Shelton's breakdown of those scores, and we'll try and maybe find ourselves a coach or two to talk to here, a coach that's in a good mood perhaps. Maybe we'll reach out to Mark Hodge if we can get him on the line to talk about his team's big win tonight over Burns. So stay tuned for all of that as we continue here on the high school scoreboard, and it's brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. Be right back.
In Columbia, South Carolina, game days are our specialty. Whether you're watching the game from inside the stadium or from the big screen at your favorite local spot, the energy remains the same. Craft the perfect fall Saturday in a city where there is plenty of action on and off the field. From tubing and kayaking to Soda City to rooftop restaurants and plenty barbecue. We're ready when you are. Plan your weekend at ExperienceColumbiaSC.com.
Save like a pro with Founders Federal Credit Union. Founders Loyalty Select account gives you the opportunity to grow your savings at our best rate yet. Fund your account through your favorite Loyalty Select product to get savings today. Not a member yet? Visit relaxjoinfounders.com or one of our more than 30 office locations to see if you qualify for membership. Services require credit evaluation. Terms and conditions apply. Founders Federal Credit Union is federally insured by NCUA.
Hi, this is Phil Kornblut, and for me, high school football Friday nights in the Palmetto State are electric. And I want to know how all the teams in the state are doing. For that, I turn to scfootballstats.com. I've used scfootballstats.com for years as a resource, so I have all the scores and schedules right at my fingertips. And so can you. Never hunt for scores, standings, or rankings again. scfootballstats.com delivers weekly updates right to your inbox. Everything from your favorite teams, including Skeeza, all in one place. Fan subscriptions are just $25 for a full season of access. Head over to scfootballstats.com right now for a free trial. That's scfootballstats.com.
Every day, you make choices that protect your family. At Farm Bureau Insurance, we're here to help make some of those choices easier. Your local Farm Bureau insurance agent is on hand to provide the reassurance and protection you need. Call today for your free no-obligation review for auto, home, and life insurance that's custom-tailored just for you.
Call Buddy Bridges in Lawrence County at 864-923-2174, covering Lawrence, Clinton, Joanna, and the shores of Lake Greenwood.
South Carolina Farm Bureau Mutual Insurance Company, Southern Farm Bureau Casualty Insurance Company, Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi.
We are back on the high school football scoreboard. Phil Kornblut and David Shelton, along with Matt Smith and Pat Daniel. David, down your way tonight as well, we saw a big win by Goose Creek over Berkeley. What'd you think of the performance of the Gators tonight getting that win?
Well, I think they really needed it after a disappointing showing last week against Somerville. This was a region game. It's a rivalry. Berkeley's only played 2 games, so all signs pointed to Goose Creek. If they could put it back together, they needed a good game, and they played very well tonight.
Yeah, what do you like about their team?
Well, offensively, they're very balanced. They've got 2 great 6'2", 6'3" guys at receiver. They got a junior quarterback that can really throw it, and they got a great running back in Dimitri Simmons. The defense has been suspect in some games this year. But they can score points. That's what was so surprising last week, that they couldn't score last week. They scored 2 touchdowns against Somerville. Now Somerville's got a really good defense, but they had a lot of penalties and they turned the ball over and couldn't run the football. So I think that's why they needed to kind of put it back together tonight.
Hey David, let me ask you a question. I think I did make a mistake earlier because I wasn't familiar with the school. Was it Bamberg Earhart or Lucy Beckham? Is Lucy Beckham, is that a school down your way?
Yeah, that's a 2-year-old school that they built to break up Wando. So it's in Mount Pleasant. It's on the East Cooper, closer towards the bridge, so to speak. But yeah, they're going to be a 4A program. This year they have sophomores and juniors. They've been playing JV schedules. And they've been having trouble finding games with JV teams because they do have juniors, and so they got permission from the high school league to play a varsity game if they could find one.
Mm-hmm.
And Bamberg was open, and Bamberg played them, so they played their first ever varsity game last night, and they're going to try to play one more, and then next year they'll be in Region 7 4A. They'll be a 4A school, and I tell you, they got some things going on. I don't know if you remember this guy, but Jamel Smith that played linebacker at Spring Valley, and I want to say he went to Virginia Tech. He's the head coach there, and they have some players. They have some opportunity to be a pretty competitive team next year.
Okay, I'm glad you straightened that out for me. Battery Creek beat Academic Magnet 30-20. Somerville over Stratford 29-7. What about that win for the Green Wave?
Yeah, good win. That's 3 in a row since losing to Gaffney in that game where they didn't have much time to prepare, but they'd beaten Berkeley, Goose Creek, and Stratford all in the last 3 weeks, and probably will be 4-0 because they'll play Stall next week.
Yeah. I haven't seen anything on this. You've seen anything on the Fort Dorchester Ashley Ridge game?
Yeah, they won. I got something in my email. I think it was 59-7. They won very easily. I think it was 59-7.
Okay. Hilton Head Christian beat Pinewood Prep 48-14. St. John's Academy over King's Academy 44-0. We're having to kind of scramble hither and yonder to find scores tonight because the SC Sports Source site, which is usually great on Friday nights providing high school football scores, is not operating tonight for some reason. So having to check out various newspapers, various TV sites, et cetera, and try and piece all these scores together for you here tonight on the high school football scoreboard. Not making excuses, just trying to explain while we're sort of here and there in getting the scores out to you. So let me go ahead and start to recap what's happened around the state. I gave you a bunch of the upstate scores just a little while ago. So we'll move on to the Midlands, where AC Flora beat Westwood 34-14. David Flora just continues to roll over people. They haven't let up one bit since winning that state championship last year.
Yeah, their defense has been very good. And if that offense gets consistent and can put up, 30 points a game, they're going to be right back in the championship hunt because their defense is pretty darn good.
Airport beat Midland Valley 30-28. Andrew Jackson over Central 30-12. Gray Collegiate beat Batesburg Leesville 42-0. Brooklyn Casey shut out Fox Creek 28-0. It was Camden 35, Crestwood 26, Newberry 34-0 over Columbia. That was last night. How about Gilbert beating Orangeburg Wilkinson 41-0? Gilbert looking very good again this year.
Yeah, that was an expected win, and they're going to probably win that region. I think they might be in the region with Brooklyn Casey. That could I get them mixed up, but that could be a very big game when those two play.
Irmo, big winner over Richland Northeast, 44-2. Great Falls 18, Louisville 7. We mentioned the Bamberg Earhart over Lucy Beckham, 24-7. And Dreer over Lugoff Elgin, 28-20. Chesterfield, 57. And North Central, 50. Somewhere Steve Tannehill is smiling, David, to see Chesterfield put 57 on the board.
Yeah, they did it on a regular basis when he was coaching there.
No question. Lexington, in a really good game, edged out River Bluff, 21-20. Saluda, 43. Eau Claire, nothing. Silver Bluff beat Wade Hampton of Hampton. We talked about that, 40-14. Spring Valley, David. They went up last week and beat South Point. They continued the schedule against the Rock Hill schools, and they took care of the Bearcats tonight big at home, 41-0.
Yeah, that was. I felt like they would probably be riding the momentum wave, and Rock Hill is not a great team, so they avoided the letdown, so to speak.
Yep. Sumter over Socastee, 23-10. Then Strom Thurmond beat Swansea 26-0, and Dutch Fork all over White Knoll 60-7. PD Grand Strand, we got to do a better job here and get some more of these scores. Mullins over Kingstree 32-0. David, how about St. James beating Conway 15-13?
Yeah, good win for St. James. I mean, not a huge upset. I mean, I thought Conway, last week when they beat Carolina Forest, that was an outlier. I wasn't sure that they were that good, but St. James is having a good season. They're a solid team. Not a team that's going to make a lot of noise in the playoffs, but having a good solid team, good solid season.
Yep. Myrtle Beach beat West Florence 14-7. That's a good win on the road there. Low Country, Battery Creek over Academic Magnet 30-20, and Cane Bay beat Wando. You said that was 27-7, David?
Correct.
Okay. Bluffton, 55, Colleton County, 30. Goose Creek, 53. Berkeley, 14. Hanahan, 63. North Charleston, nothing. Somerville, 29. Stratford, 7. And Skiza, we've got Robert E. Lee 26, Dillon Christian nothing, Calhoun Academy 27, Dorchester Academy 23, Orangeburg Prep 28, Greenwood Christian nothing, Richard Wynn 52, Lawrence Academy 12, Hammond 14, Trinity Collegiate nothing, and Williamsburg over PD Academy 35-14. All right, break is coming up. We've got folks to be talking to after this bottom of the hour break here on the High School Scoreboard. We'll be right back.
I spend a lot of time in the garage, but even more time in the rain, sleet, and mud. In '95, I helped tow your moving trailer. In '05, I helped you get out of a ditch. Yeah, I know I'm a bit rusty, and sadly in '09, it was sparks from me, your handy chains, dragging behind your truck that accidentally started a wildfire.
Sparks from dragging chains can start a wildfire. Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
With SRN News, I'm Jason Walker. 2 people are dead in the mid-air collision of a helicopter and fixed-wing aircraft over Arizona. Authorities say the plane was able to land safely, but the chopper crashed and burned. People have gathered to remember those who died in the deadliest mass shooting in modern U.S. history 4 years ago, the Las Vegas Strip. Several ceremonies throughout the day. On October 1st, 2017, a gunman opened fire on people at a concert, killing 58. Shooting at a Houston school Friday. Authorities say a former student of a charter school shot and wounded a school employee on campus before quickly surrendering to police. No students were hurt. On Wall Street Friday, the Dow was up 482 points. This is SRN News.
Now, who could that be?
It's Dominion Energy. I signed us up for a home energy checkup. It's time we learn how to save energy and money.
Well, how much does it cost?
Not a dime. It's free, and it only takes about an hour. Plus, we get a report on things we can do to make our home more energy efficient.
I don't know. Sounds too good to be true.
No. See for yourself at DominionEnergySC.com.
Where?
DominionEnergySC.com.
Certain restrictions apply.
For many years, I've bragged about the great work Stone Interiors does in the home. And brag's the right word, because before I endorsed Stone Interiors, I was a customer first. That means I've been through the same process you can go through. Lainey and I visited the showroom. We were in awe of the selection as we wanted a unique granite look for our kitchen. We got that for our countertops. We found something special. The team at Stone Interiors put the plan in motion. They came out, they installed the granite that we've been loving and beaming about ever since. When folks visit our home, inevitably, we end up in the kitchen talking, and someone comments about the granite, from its look to its texture. So is it time to enjoy some new granite, marble, or quartz? Do you need a beautiful new backsplash in the kitchen? What about a new fireplace or an outdoor kitchen? Stone Interiors has taken great care of folks in the Midlands for 20 years. They're locally owned and operated, and that's essential. You can visit the showroom, do a virtual appointment if you want, whatever you're comfy with. Visit StoneInteriors.com or give them a call, 461-8950. And of course, tell them you heard about it from The Point.
Have you fallen behind on your taxes and might be facing IRS penalties? Have wage garnishments, levies, or liens? Have unfiled tax returns? You want someone local and qualified. Don't fall for those national spots. Meet with me, Teresa, at Capital City Professional Services, and let me help you through your tax maze. I can help with all your tax resolution issues. There are options to get you back on track. Call Capital City Professional Services, 400-8683. That's 400-8683.
Pro football season's here, and pro roofers save valuable time with Beacon Pro Plus. Beacon Pro Plus works 24/7 for material ordering, order history, and automated promotion tracking, so you can get your favorite GAF roofing products even when working remotely. And now, order on Beacon Pro Plus and get a $175 gift card and a chance for a VIP pro football getaway. Gear up and raise your game with Beacon Pro Plus today. Build, score, and win at BECN.com.
People who are vaccinated are getting sick from COVID variants, and Americans have no end of questions and concerns. What we do know is that fever is the leading sign of COVID, so everyone needs an accurate thermometer. Exergen temporal scanner's accuracy is backed by more than 100 clinical studies, while non-contact devices have no supporting studies. Vaccines are not enough. Learn more at Exergen.com. Exergen is changing the way the world takes temperature.
All right, we're back with you. High school football scoreboard brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. Let me hit you with a few more scores. It was Augusta Christian defeating Wilson Hall tonight, 34-10. Barnwell over Edisto, 48-27. Buford, 38. Hilton Head, 14. Just trying to pick out some games that we have not mentioned to this point, I don't think. And we did that one. Sherraw, 31. Buford, 15. And Dillon beat Lamar tonight, 47-8. Wildcats go to, I think that's 3-0 for them. I think they're undefeated. And let's see what else. Hilton Head Christian, 48. Pinewood Prep, 14. Lawrence Manning over Porter Gowd, 21-17. Lakewood beat Manning, 22-16. And Palmetto Christian, 20. Wardlaw, nothing. Philip Simmons, 63. Burke, nothing. St. Joseph's over Blacksburg, 41-13. And as we mentioned a little while ago, Well Branch 31, Cross 14, Whitmire 40, Calhoun Falls 20, and Woodland beat Lake Marion 27-18, York over Indian Land 19-13. As we were talking with David Shelton a little bit ago, one of the big scores of the night and a heck of a ball game, Spartanburg High School and Burns. You know, ordinarily, you go back historically, it's one of the big games in the country whenever they have met in the past. Maybe they'll get back to that point at some point, but the Vikings score probably the biggest win yet under Coach Mark Hodge as they beat Burns tonight, 33-30. The coach joining us live on the high school scoreboard tonight. And first of all, congratulations. Thank you for joining us. That's a fantastic win for your guys tonight.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm so excited for our kids and staff and school and community. It's just a lot of hard work came into a 3-point win tonight.
Am I overstating that this is the biggest win of your young tenure at Spartanburg?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. When you play a program like Burns and Coach Shaw and his guys do a great job. And, it's just, it's so much a mental aspect too of learning to believe that you can win. I mean, every day we're having to teach something new, and it's fun to watch kids grow every day. But it's also, that's why I'm bald. It makes your hair fall out. But our kids persevered, and their kids did too. It was one of them that you hated to really see a team lose because both teams are beat up and banged up, starters not playing, and it just fortunately we had the ball last, and our kids executed that last drive.
Yeah, tell us about the last drive.
We scored a tie at 30. Coaches were trying to get me the onside, and even our kicker's hurt. Everybody's hurt. So our kicker hadn't been able to kick it in the end zone. And I finally looked at him and said, look, I need one kick, man. If you can muscle it in the end zone, kick it in the end zone. Because what I didn't want to do was onside it and us not give it, and I didn't give my kids a true opportunity to win the game themselves. I didn't want to try to steal one. So he hits it in the end zone, and we hold them and get the ball back on about the 50 and drive it all the way down to, about the 15-yard line. And took a timeout with 3 seconds, and John Love nailed it. And now we got to go back Monday and teach them how to celebrate because we didn't even do that real well either. So,
well, maybe they haven't practiced that a whole lot. So, how long was the field goal?
To be honest with you, I have no idea. It was about, I don't know. I just knew that once ball got on the 30, we were in his range. And so we were inside the 30, and he crushed it. I mean, he could, however long it was, he could hit it another about 20 yards. And we'd already had an extra point block too. So, played Gaffney. I think we had 2 field goals and extra point block. So, I mean, I'm holding my breath the whole time. Not can we, it's just will we play to win and not play to lose. And that second half, we played to win, and I'm super, super happy for our kids.
David Shelton's with us, Coach. He's got questions for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Mark, I listening to what you say, and it kind of leads into my question. When you're trying to rebuild a program, and you came from a very successful run at Chapman, to make it like you said, to make them believe, you need that signature win. You just need that one game that kids can point to and say, "Hey, we can win these games." I mean, this is the signature win.
Oh, absolutely. Our kids know their kids, and they know the history, and the community, the former players, the alumni, all those people. It was huge for them, and it was fun just to watch our kids change. We were very apprehensive early, just worrisome, just very worrisome on the sideline and things, and just the kids finally settled, and the longer the game went, the calmness kind of came over the sideline, and they continued to play. And the coaches did a great job too, because we had they had kids get hurt, and we had kids get hurt in the game. So you patching it together and changing schemes and everything else. So to be able to handle all that adversity and be able to be calm, and that was actually a huge growth moment for us.
Yeah, and I want to just say that you have not backed down in your scheduling. I mean, you play the Gaffneys and the Dutch Forks and like the Burns. So that's what 5A football is, though. You got to play those teams if you're going to find out how good you can be.
Absolutely. I mean, and I play those guys every week. They're great coaches. They coach well. Kids play hard. They're clean. I talking to Coach Knott, told him I play you every week because they will force you to get better. If you'll continue to compete, you got no choice but to get better playing teams like that. And and that's the whole point. We want to make our schedule where if we do get to a state championship, you've at least played somebody equal to that caliber, if not better, when you get there. And that's how I really learned that from Coach Davis. And Coach Davis, you go back and look at his non-region schedules back when they played in the gauntlet of Region 2-4A. I mean, there was even no gimmies back then when it was non-region. So he taught me a whole lot about scheduling and how to prepare teams. And in the end, in our game, it's just it's making the playoffs and then winning in the playoffs. And so you have that non-region and that preseason to put your team hopefully in a position to be able to do those type things.
Last thing, we'll let you go. You mentioned the field goal. Of course, they ended up winning it. But, I mean, a couple of guys that really stood out for you offensively, scoring 33 points. You had to have some big games on the offensive side.
Well, Raheem Jeter grew up tonight. He's a phenomenal young man, and I've really been disappointed with people that ask me about his integrity. The kid is top-notch, fabulous human being. His dad's top-notch, fabulous man. They've been nothing but supportive and everything since he's been there. He takes coaching. He's our hardest working player. But in our big games, again, he's a kid that has been swimming. It really takes 4 years to learn our offense. And he's had to try to do it in basically 18 months in a pandemic. And, the things that he did and has done, like I challenged him at halftime. I said, the kids are looking at you to lead. And if you're going to be that guy, you got to be that guy. And he did. I mean, he went out there and he forced us to play well and made some great throws and some that we even dropped. And, he just took over the football team like I knew he can. And, that kid's future is phenomenal in front of him. We had some, a bunch of receivers make some plays. We're out our starting running back. So Jay Davenport came in as a backup and did a great job. And I can't say enough about our defense. We got 2 or 3 starters out on defense too. And Judah McGimpsey, I bet he had 35 tackles tonight. I mean, he was just all over the place. Every time he looked up, he made a play. So, I got to give him a lot of credit. And, I wish I knew more about their kids too, because they played fabulous too. Their quarterback was great. And they're on about their 4th running back. He did a phenomenal job as well. So, it's just one of those that if God blessed us to be able to win, but he also blessed everybody in that stadium to watch a bunch of kids pour their heart out in a football game. And there's a lot of lessons can be learned from it. So, can't wait to get back to them.
Who's up next?
We actually have Wade Hampton. I have to think about this thing. I don't kind of keep up with it week to week.
Yeah.
We have Wade Hampton, and then we have a bye the following week. And we lost a game to COVID. So the 15th, if anybody out there is listening needs a game, we need a game on the 15th. We'd like to replace that bye if we possibly can. So, then we go to the Riverside, who's playing really, really well, and then, end the region with Dorman. So we still got some studs in front of us.
Absolutely. Hey, we thank you so much. Congratulations. Good to see Spartan High getting back on track. Anybody that knows anything about high school football in South Carolina knew that this day was coming, and I'm sure you'll build on this. We thank you for being with us.
Thank you so much. God bless you guys.
Thank you, Mark Hodge. In your mind, David, just how good a coach is he?
Oh, he's really good. He's one of those. What he did at Chapman, just really built a phenomenal program. And when he went to Spartanburg, a lot of people wondered, why would you leave what you got going on at Chapman and take on Spartanburg? But that's just the kind of coach he is. I mean, he wants to coach at the highest level. He's at the highest level now, and it has been a tough thing. I mean, they have not been very good, but this could really be. It'll be interesting to see when we get toward the end of the season where Spartanburg is. See if they reel off a couple in a row, 2 or 3, 4 in a row. I mean, I think they'll beat Wade Hampton. I definitely think they'll very well compete with Riverside. I think that's a game they can win. Dorman, we don't know, but who knows if they get on a roll, win 3 or 4 in a row. That Dorman Spartanburg game might end up being a huge one.
Yeah. Well, let's hope that it does. We want to see good ball games going down the stretch. Before we hit the break, let's go to Dennis Brunson, guys, because Dennis has a beard, and that thing's probably grown down to the ground. He's been waiting so long. So let's go to Dennis, and he is going to tell us about the Hammond game tonight. Hammond and Trinity Collegiate. Good Skeeza matchup, Dennis, and Hammond found a way to get a couple of scores and win that thing.
Yeah, it was really a great defensive game. Excuse me, everybody knew the Hammond defense was great, and Trinity really stepped up and played a great game. It was scoreless at the half, and then Trinity got the ball to start the third quarter, had to punt after getting a couple of first downs, and Hammond's Dylan Richardson picked the football up at around the 26-yard line and broke down the left sideline in front of his teammates and went 74 yards for the score, and then had to kick the extra point after that long run, and that made it 7-0 at 8:37 mark, and then Hammond got it in the end zone early in the fourth quarter. Jack Weston, the quarterback, had a 20-yard run to pick up a first down on early in the drive, and then to get him to the 28, and then C.J. Stokes went in on the next play, and on the run that Weston made, both Reggion Bennett and Trey McLeod, Trinity's 2 top players, were injured on that. They were able to come back into the game, but they had to leave, and then Stokes broke off the long run. But the story of the night was Hammond's defense. As everyone knows, Trinity came in averaging 50 points a game, and they were shut out. And with McLeod and Bennett, 2 guys that are great running backs. Let's see, Bennett finished with 68 yards on 18 carries. Not a bad night, but when you're averaging close to 200 a game, it's not a good night. And then McLeod, who had over 700 yards, averaging around 160, he had 47, and just a great defensive effort. Their quarterback for Trinity, he threw 21 passes tonight, coming in, he'd thrown 21 passes all season. So, just a tremendous defensive effort by him. And Richardson also had an interception at the goal line at the end of the first half to kill a Trinity drive. So he just had a great all-around game. And C.J. Stokes only had 22 at the half, ended up with 134 yards. Had a nice 36-yard run early in the third quarter, and then the 28-yarder to pretty much iced the game. But again, not what I was expecting. I thought it would be a few more points thrown up on both sides, and just a great defensive game.
Sounds like it, and thank you so much, Dennis. You saw two of the best running backs in the state there in Bennett and Stokes. Thank you for the report. Great stuff as always. Hear from you next week. Dennis Brunson with the story on Hammond's win. Hammond stays undefeated with that win tonight on the road. We'll hit a break, and we will come back, and I think we got another report standing by to hit the air. We'll get to that, and then we'll go back through the scoreboard. I think we've got most, if not all, the scores plotted at this point. Still kind of working on that. We'll do the best we can here over the next couple of minutes, and some final thoughts from David Shelton as well. So don't leave us. Final segment, high school scoreboard, Founders Federal Credit Union. Back in a moment.
Hi, I'm State Treasurer Curtis Loftus, and I've got a great gift idea that requires zero shopping, the gift of college savings. Future Scholar, South Carolina's 529 college savings plan makes it easy. Grandparents, friends, and family can all contribute to a Future Scholar account and know that they're providing a gift that will last a lifetime. If you're looking for the perfect gift this holiday season, look no further. Learn more about the smart, easy way to save and give this holiday season at futurescholar.com.
Hi, this is Phil Kornblut, and for me, high school football Friday nights in the Palmetto State are electric. And I want to know how all the teams in the state are doing. For that, I turn to scfootballstats.com. I've used scfootballstats.com for years as a resource, so I have all the scores and schedules right at my fingertips. And so can you. Never hunt for scores, standings, or rankings again. scfootballstats.com delivers weekly updates right to your inbox. Everything from your favorite teams, including Skeeza, all in one place. Fan subscriptions are just $25 for a full season of access. Head over to scfootballstats.com right now for a free trial. That's scfootballstats.com.
Relax on and off the field with Founders Federal Credit Union. With services like Founders Online and the Founders app, you'll enjoy all the perks of a big bank with local personalized service. If you're looking for low rates, look to Founders. Not a member? Joining Founders Federal Credit Union is easy. Visit relaxjoinfounders.com or one of our more than 30 office locations to see if you qualify for membership. Services require credit evaluation. Terms and conditions apply. Founders Federal Credit Union is federally insured by NCUA.
Okay, back for a final segment. Let's welcome in another report. We go back out into the field, hardest working man in the business. And I think we all agree with that. Now Lou joins us, Scoop, Lou from thestate.com. Chris Bergen was chastising me for continually mispronouncing your name. He says it's Bayak.
Bajak.
I told him Bajak. He said Bayak.
No, it's not Bayak. It's Bajak. He should know.
That's what I'm saying. I said Bazak. Haven't I said Bazak?
Oh, hey.
I don't know.
I get it all the time. Whatever. I'm not big. If you mispronounce it, no
listen,
big whip.
I know what you feel. It's like, I don't care what you call me. Just don't call me late for dinner. All right. So you were, let's see. You were at Lexington River Bluff tonight.
Yes. It was a good one. Probably the game of the year so far in the Midlands.
Yeah, give us your take on it.
21-20. Lexington was down 20-7 at halftime. Started the second half with a big, long touchdown drive at 8+ minutes. Had a couple opportunities. River Bluff had an opportunity to. They missed a field goal. I think in the fourth quarter. They had a couple opportunities, and then It was 2014, and Blake Smith stepped in front of Hunter Shepard's pass and returned it to the River Bluff 40, and they put together a good drive, and Tyler Walker took it in, made it 21-20. River Bluff had a chance then, and Shepard was picked off again. They stopped, forced Lexington to punt, but then River Bluff fumbled the punt. River Bluff coaches were wanting a halo rule called, but they called the fumble, and Lexington got it, ran out the clock, and a big win for them. That's 5 in a row, and I think that's 3 now by less than 7 points. And heck of a job what Perry Woolbright's doing. 0-6 last year, and they're 5-1 this year. And they lost their leading rusher last week in Jonah Norris. So I think a heck of a job. They have a good chance to finish maybe second in that region. I think it will be between them and Chapin for second behind Dutch Fort.
What are you liking about, the different elements of his team kind of coming together?
Yeah, he does. They're hard work. They kind of mirror him. They're hardworking kind of guys, blue collar. Not a lot of superstars. I think Peyton Mines has a good chance to be one of the top QBs by the time he's all done. He's just a sophomore, but just kind of no superstars and kind of just a total team effort. They had contributions. Their defense forced, I think, 4 or 5 turnovers. The running game, the offensive line did a heck of a job in that second half, wearing down River Bluff, especially on an 8.5-minute drive to start the third quarter.
Okay, Lou, we thank you as always. Great job, and we'll just call you Lou Scoop and forget about the rest.
There you go. That makes it easier.
Okay.
All right, guys.
Thank you, my man. Appreciate you. All right, Lou Bezjak from the state newspaper, thestate.com. Appreciate him joining us tonight. So let me run through scores here that I've been able to get plotted down here so I could have some organization. Still trying to put some scores together here as we speak. And let's go in the upstate. Abbeville 49-0 over Crescent. St. Joseph's 41-13 over Blacksburg. Gaffney 34-0 over Boiling Springs. Spartanburg 33, Burns 30. South Point 28, Catawba Ridge 18. Chesney beat Legion Collegiate, and that final score was 28-21. Chesney with that win tonight over the team from Rock Hill. Clinton 56-21 over Union County. Daniel 35-14 over Seneca. Dorman 47, Riverside 14. Travelers Rest 11, Eastside 6. Nation Ford 35, Fort Mill nothing. Greenville 42, Greer 28. York 19, Indianland 13. Hillcrest 41, Malden 24. Northwestern 52, Ridgeview 22. Powdersville 55, and Palmetto 20. Belton, Honeypath, and Pendleton. And it was Belton, Honeypath 53 and Pendleton 27, 53-27 for the Bears. Broome 48 and Broome 46 and Robbinsville of North Carolina 43. Berea and Southside, final score there was, I thought we had that final, but I guess we didn't have that final. So we move on. Southside Christian 48, McCormick nothing, TL Hanna 37, Woodmont 14, Walhalla 51, Pickens 14, Westside 58, Easley 20, Whitmire 40, Calhoun Falls 20, and Chapman 54, Woodruff 35. David, what about Chapman? 54 and Woodruff 35. Chapman, in your opinion, so far?
Yeah, they're a top. I keep ranking them like second or third in my rankings every week, and they're legit. I mean, Daniel, Chapman in the upper state, Dillon in the lower state, along with like Gilbert, but Chapman's right there in the top 4 or 5 in the state.
All right, in the Midlands, AC Flora 34, Westwood 14, Airport 30, Midland Valley 28, Andrew Jackson 30, Central 12, Gray Collegiate 42, Batesburg Leesville nothing, Brooklyn Casey 28, Fox Creek nothing, Cheraw 31, Buford 15, Camden 35, Crestwood 26, Newberry 34, Columbia nothing, Barnwell 48, Edisto 27, Gilbert 41, Orangeburg Wilkinson nothing. It was Irmo 44, Richland Northeast 2, Lakewood 22, Manning 16, Great Falls 18, Louisville 7, Bamberg Earhart 24, Lucy Beckham 7. Dreer 28, Lugoff Elgin 20. Chesterfield 57, North Central 50. Florence Christian 36, Pillion 14. Lexington 21, River Bluff 20, just heard that story. Saluda 43, Eau Claire nothing. Silver Bluff 40, Wade Hampton of Hampton 14. South Aiken 21, Aiken 20. Spring Valley 41, Rock Hill nothing. Sumter 23, Socastee 10. Strom Thurmond 26, Swansea nothing. Wagner Sally 52, Wilson Elko 28. And Dutch Fork 60, White Knoll 7. All the scores will be posted later on our website, sportstalksc.com. Thank you, David Shelton. Thank you, Matt Smith. And thank you, Pat Daniel. Thanks to all the reporters tonight and the coaches. Everybody have a great night, and we'll see you on the high school scoreboard.
Weekdays from 7 to 9 on The Point. It's Kev and Brian in the morning.